Hello everyone, Ti-84 Programs here, and today I'm going to be showing off another game I made. This will be the last game for a while, and then I'm going to start showing off tricks and math-related programs that help with equations, and then I'll start a tutorial series for how to actually do this, do some of this stuff yourself. So this game is fun. It's called Fun. I know, it's a very original name. And you start it up. And as you can see, it asks for a number of players. This one's pretty cool because you can, it's actually one you can play with your friends. So I'm the only one playing it. So I click 1, and you can see there's a blank screen. When I click Enter, these numbers are generated and they begin to cycle through. Now the goal of this game is to get all these numbers to match, and you stop each of these numbers from left to right by clicking Enter again. So for all three of them, you get 30 points matching. For 2 of them, you get 10 points, and the first player to 100 points wins. So let's see if I can do this. I used to be really good at this, but I haven't done it in a while. All right. It also gets faster as it. You can see. Yeah, I didn't. Okay. And I lost. So I got 10 points, and the first player's score is 10. And if I want to play again, I just click Enter. And I wait, and I try to... Once again, I made the same mistake as before. Well, you all get the idea. Pretty fun. Just something you can... There we go. You can play with your friends. If I want to stop it, I just click Clear. If I want to play with 2 players, I click 2, and let's see what. There we go, and then it'd be player 2's turn. Oh no, player 2 messed up. So then 2 scores 10, and the first person to 100 points wins. I don't want to play through full game because it can take a while. So let's look at the code. First, I clear the screen with clear home, and I clear all the lists, because I use the list to score the score of the players. I set -1 to the variable s, and while it is less than or equal to 0, so this is me getting the input for number of players, because I didn't want people entering, like, bad numbers, like decimals or negative numbers, or non-real numbers. So I do, while all these conditions are true, so it's any of these bad inputs, then continue asking for it. And I use the real of s function here to remove any non-real answers. So just to show that in action, if I do if I did 5 plus I, however, it would still do 5 players. So that's pretty cool. Oh yeah, it also doesn't accept lists. That's why I do del var L of s, because that would input and make a new list named s, I think that's pretty cool. So then s is equal to the size of list L1, 0 is equal to k, which is the key input, and 0 equals to I, which is the current player's turn. So, yeah. Then, if they click Enter, so k is 105, then clear all the stuff on the bottom that shows like win, 10 points, current turn, and then it generates a random A, B, and C. So those are left to right numbers. 1 to 6. And then I do 0 is equal to D, 0 is equal to T, and 0 is equal to P. You'll see what those are later. While D is less than 3, D is like that. Right? D is the variable that represents how many times the player has clicked Enter. So while that is less than 3, because it starts at 0, if it's 0, then, okay. Sorry, if D is less than equal to 0. Oh, this is unnecessary. Yeah, that's why it was a little bit confusing. I put this unnecessarily in here. I don't need that, but... Alright, this is just outputting the numbers. This just stops the number from changing, but the thing is the number won't change anyways if I, if I click stop. So that's kind of unnecessary, but yeah, this is all handling A, B, C, like that. So, you won't understand. So yeah, this is, if it's the first time going, just display all of them. If it's the second time, don't only display the next two. But remember, it will still display the last value that A had because it doesn't overwrite it. So it will continue displaying whatever the last value of A is. And then once you reach 3, then it will stop updating C. So then here, this is the cycling. This is the cycling of D. Really, D is actually how many times they pressed enter, not really what turn it is. How many times the person has pressed enter. So if they pressed it 0 times, continue doing the remainder of A plus 1, comma 7 is A. That's pretty simple, and then this all just does the same stuff. T plus 1, this is how I stop it from updating too fast. So that's how I slow it down. So T equals 0 means first, P is 0. So when P is 0, initially, for the very first time you run it, then it will do every 3 runs. T is 0, so it will update the numbers every 3 runs to this loop. Then, once D becomes greater than -1, then P is 1, so you do 3 minus 1, so now every 2 times. Here, this was kind of unnecessary having this if statement, but anyways, if get key equals 1, so if they click enter, increment D. So just to overview, this basically handles the numbers, and D is how many times they click enter, and these all handle the output. So D is 0 if it's the very first time, and it's on one of the times when it updates, then output A. If D is less than 2, blah, blah, blah. All pretty simple stuff. Next, if A is B and B is C, this basically means if all of them are the same, then say jackpot, and otherwise say lose. Then I output the points, which is 10 times A equals B plus A equals C plus B equals C. Remember, these are booleans are integers on the Ti-84. So these, if all these are true, that means all of them are equal. So 1, 1, 1, so 30, because it's 10 times 3. If only 2 of them are true, then it'll be 20, etc. So that gets set to V, which is the value of their points. Output their points next to points. Then I add the amount of points they got to the score on the list of that player, and then I say if the score of the player at that point is greater than 100, then clear the screen, and then say that they win, that player wins. If they don't win, output the player, output score, and then output their score. Oh, yeah, and then cycle up I to the next player, and then once they reach the top, cycle back down. If you all don't understand the remainder function, let me quickly explain that. The remainder of 5, 2 would return a 1. So, basically, it goes 0, if there are only 2 players, first player, oops, 1, 2, this was a pretty bad example actually. Let me go 5 players, and I'll use the variable x, and I will set x to 1. So when x is 1, then this returns a 1, obviously, because there's no remainder. When x is 2, we return 2, blah, blah, blah. When you reach 5, it loops back around to 0 here, see? So I'd be back at player 1. The reason I do I+1 is because lists in the Ti-84 are, first index is 1. So when it loops back around to 0, I have to increment it by 1. This game's pretty fun. Let me see if I can get a win so y'all can see the win screen. It's kind of fun because it has a replayability. The secret here is to go for the 3s or the 4s. I don't really know why that is. Ignore what just happened. No one saw what just happened, okay? Let's see. Oh no, I screwed up again. It's very hard to play this game when you can't really see the screen. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna get to the end here. See, I could have just changed the win condition to be like 5 really fast before this, but oh, that was close. Alright, if I win this, I win the game. Yay, 1 wins, haha, how fun. Alright, that's it. That's all. It was a pretty simple game. It was pretty fun. Next time, I'll probably go over this radical simplifier. And then I'll start my tutorial. Bye, and have a nice day.